Good morning, gang, and welcome back to Family Law Assistance. Today, like many other parents, your Facebook feed will probably have been littered with photographs of kids in uniforms. For some people, it's going to be their children's first day back into school. Certainly in Wales, that's kind of where they are at the moment. Or maybe your child's school has had one of those staggered starts, and you may have been littered with Facebook statuses with parents picking up their kids, double pickups. But there's one thing you will have seen on people's Facebook status, and that's pictures of their child in the uniform stood in front of the door. I don't know why people do that. I don't know why people why in front of the door? I don't know. But if you're one of those parents that didn't get the memo that your child was going back to school today, maybe you found out, maybe you haven't, maybe you've had one of those communication books, maybe you've just been presented with a list of what uniform is required. Maybe it's something even simpler than perhaps not knowing when your child is about to start school or not, or what the requirements are in the school, because yes, they are different for every school, as it seems. But maybe you've just had a note and you never realised that your child's uniform came from a certain shop. Maybe you never knew that they were the suppliers. Maybe you're not maybe you're not on the emergency list. So is it the fact that you're are you feeling like that you're like a second class parent? Or do you feel that you've kind of been pushed out of that? For whatever reason it is, it can be complex. It could be anything from knowing when your child starts school, knowing what requirements are in the school, to not being allowed to be near the school, not having contact with your child, all the way through to, well, blow me down, I didn't know that was the school suppliers, because one parent has just presented you with the list of what your child needs. I get it. Here at Family Law Assistance, totally get it. And especially, do you know what? Especially during COVID, it's all gone a little bonkers. So the hype, if you're one of those parents that at the moment are feeling excluded, or you are excluded either by virtue of one parent or by the fact that you've got a court order, you might be feeling this even more so today. Now I say today because actually where we're living, kids go back to school today, so it's a Monday morning, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, there's pandemonium in this house. It wasn't always like that. And like you, we both personally and professionally have been through that journey. But if you are that parent that has or is excluded from knowing anything about your children's schooling, intentionally or not, then you're going to probably feel this today more than any other day. The start of the school term this time is going to feel much more heightened. And yes, because of a global pandemic. Yes, because the kids have been off for, 6 months. So there are a whole number of reasons that we at Family Law Assistance have seen why people have been excluded. So for those uninvolved parents, and of course we see both sides of the story, but today this post goes out to the uninvolved parents, the ones that feel excluded, the ones that feel that when they see their Facebook timelines littered with a load of children in their school uniform in front of the door, heaven knows why, this is for you, because first of all, we get it. Like I said, one of the things you're going to notice more is that this term feels much more than perhaps any other terms. And the reasons for this happening are really complex, right from we're at home to Captain Cock-Up, as people often don't think, right through to parental alienation. And you may or may not be somewhere in between thoughtlessness and generally parental alienation. And we see both extremes of that. The parental alienation, it happens more often than you think. And again, nobody, sometimes it's unintentional. Sometimes people just leave things out and they don't realize that having leaving that parent out of child contact forms, or not even the small things, because I don't know about you, but it's always the small things that tend to get people upset. Whether it's not knowing when school parents' evening is, not knowing when children's trips are. Maybe you're that parent that's just been notified at the last minute that child has a trip, and by the way, you've got to pay for it. Maybe that's where you're at. And to kind of sound a little bit like Jerry Springer here for a second, it doesn't get any easier, and it isn't fair, and you shouldn't have to be going through that. So just want to put that out there. And the other thing is that, you know, unless you do something about that, there's no cavalry either. You know, here in Family Law Assistance, we hear. I mean, and your guys' comments in the chat highlights how unfair and how polarized and how contentious and how emotive posts can be. This issue, of course, is emotive, because you're not going to get anything more emotive than your children. So it naturally does provoke a reaction on both sides of that fence, actually. But today I know that there's a lot of parents that may be suffering in silence, may feel trapped, may feel that they've got no hope, may feel that there's nothing that you can do, okay? And today's post is for you, okay? There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. I mean, listen, Family Law Assistance has been around for 14 years. Trust me when I say that we have been there, seen that, and got the court order. So cavalry's not coming, all right? There is a bunch of stuff that you can do right now. So if you're sitting at home right now and your kids have been waved off to school, or you're fed up of looking at that Facebook timeline, then holler, get in touch, okay? Or drop your comments below. We're here to help, and there's such a great community. One of the things I've said for such a hell of a long time, and listen, some of you have been OG subscribers from like a long time. Thumbs up if that's been you. Thumbs up if you've been kind of watching and tracking Family Law Assistance for a long time. But there is a bunch of stuff that we can do. One of the things that we have here at Family Law Assistance is that idea of empowerment. And I know that can sound a bit of a woo-woo word, but you know, if you're behind the driving seat and you're proactively doing something, look, people feel better with a plan, all right? And we're the people here with a plan. So if this is you this morning and you are fed up, then holler and get in touch, okay? I guarantee you that we have seen that, and more importantly, we understand. We totally get it. Guys, have an amazing rest of your day. Over and out.